Welcome to the Work in Process podcast. Thank you so much for joining me again today on this episode of the podcast. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year. This is 2025. And yes, I am still doing this. And I seek to continue to do this as long as I feel like and as long as I am enjoying myself. I'll still keep recording episode of the podcast randomly, scripted, interviewing guests. I'll just keep enjoying myself. 2025 is going to be an amazing year, and I know that every year the goal is always to improve on what we have done the previous year. Every year is always supposed to be an improvement, not supposed to be something new. It's just supposed to be an improvement. We just have to keep making progress, and we have to keep going in the direction that God has designed and God has ordained for us. Now, I just decided to record this episode randomly, and it will be my first episode this year. Uh, I don't want to do a lot of fixed, rigid episodes this year. I just want to maybe get an idea and just talk about it, share about it, like as if I'm having a conversation with friends or I'm talking to people in an office space. Not really something serious, scripted, and very neat. Just something fun, raw, and free. So that is how it's going to be this year. And I hope you stick around. I hope you keep listening. And I hope you also enjoy and take away lessons from the things I'll be talking about. Because I'm also learning from everything I experience. And it's just a privilege for me to share what I'm experiencing and learning on this platform. So, what would I be sharing today? I'm talking about skincare. Yes, I'm talking about skincare. Um, I'm not a skincare expert, so what I'll be saying about skincare would really not be appealing to those that are skincare experts. I'm joking. But I'm talking about skincare. So the thing is that I followed my sister to a particular skincare store or mall, something like that. No, let me say store. Yeah, I'll call it a store because the lady was not selling. Because I thought skincare was just cream, uh, maybe anti whatever. I thought skincare. I thought skincare was just all those stuff. I cannot even say skincare very well. What's that? So I thought skincare was just cream and all those stuff. So she said, "Oh, we are going to church. Please follow me. I want to get a particular skincare product." And I was like, "All right, no problem." She had to persuade me, obviously, but I said, "All right, no problem. Since it's in the direction of the church, I'll follow you to get the product." So I got there and I sat down, and all of a sudden, when my sister and the vendor now, the person in charge of the store, saw each other, the way they greeted each other was like as if they've always known each other. The rapport, the smile, the happy new year, the everything. And they started speaking a particular language I didn't understand. They were talking about products, skincare products. They're talking about, I can't even say it now because I don't know. They were talking about UZ, serum, so and so, antioxidation, this and that. And I'm a science student, but I don't understand in what context they were talking about it because they were just taking, my sister would take a product and ask, "Oh, this product," and she would say some jargons, and I'll be like, "What are we doing here? I can't even understand what you people are." I'm telling you guys, and that's why I just had to record this episode now because if I say I should record this episode another day, I will not be able to talk like this because I was shocked. I sat down, I was not pressing my phone, I was trying to just observe them and just listen to what it is that they were talking about. And I discovered that I didn't understand a single thing they were talking about. I was just looking at them, they were just mentioning products. My sister was not even asking questions, they were just talking on that level. And seated right there, just like the person that I am, something just dropped in my mind, and that was what led to this podcast episode you are listening to. Something just dropped in my mind, and I was like, "Oh, so that's the truth. People have always been saying this. That's the truth. I just saw it manifest in my front now." Every industry, every profession, every career, every space has their language. Every industry, every profession, every career, every space, every brand has their language. And I was like, "Oh, they are speaking skincare language." That's why I don't understand because I'm not in that space and I'm not in that industry. And the only reason why they could relate and flow with each other in the manner in which they did was because they both understood their language. So I was a stranger in that land. because I just sat down and I was looking. They could have sold me. They could have sold me. They could be talking about me and I didn't know because they were mentioning a lot of terminologies and I'm like, oh, I don't understand this language. And what I learned from that is for you to be able to relate well with other people in a particular career, field, area, space, profession, you have to be able to speak their language. You have to be able to speak their language. People say communication is the blood of relationship. But the same way communication is the blood of relationship, language is the blood of communication. Language is the life of communication. So language gives communication life. So they were actually talking to each other and I didn't understand because they were speaking different languages. So they were able to, there was a communication between the both of them, but I was left aside because I didn't understand the language. Even though they were smiling at me at a point, they would look at me and they would laugh, like, yeah, yeah, this guy. And I'm like, I really don't understand what both of you are saying, but let me just be there. And I was like, oh, that's what is happening in my space and industry too. So there's some things I will talk about that people will not understand, not because they don't want to understand or not because they don't have the desire to understand, but they can't understand because what gives life to what I'm saying, they don't understand it, which is the language of the industry of the space I occupy. I don't know if people would understand this, but it's really interesting to just start my year like this because that's what I'm seeing. I'm like, okay, people don't understand what I'm saying or doing sometimes because they don't understand my language. So if I want to be more effective in communication, if I want to be more effective in speaking to people in such a way that they understand the message I'm trying to pass across and they can be propelled to action by the things I say, I have to come down to the language they understand. Wow. I have to come down to the language you understand because if they don't understand my language, they can't take action. If they don't understand my language, there is no communication in the first place. Because those words they were saying, they were regular English words, but I didn't understand what those words were doing in that store. Ultraviolet, antioxidants, coupled with the fact that I'm a science student, I'm supposed to understand better, but I didn't understand it. And my sister is an art student. And I'm like, okay, I see. Language is important in every space, in every industry, and that's what it's communication. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the podcast, and I hope you got something from it. I'm sorry for rambling so much, and I'm sorry for speaking so fast, but I just had to do this now. I'll see you on the next one, and I hope you have a lovely year, and I hope you keep listening to the Work in Process podcast, and also please subscribe to my newsletter. It's going to be amazing this year. Thank you so much. Bye for now.